Alright guys, so a lot of my leak here in the front is coming from this windshield. I can't believe that. Look at this shit. I'm surprised anything was working that was hooked to this. Well, she's safe in the garage, if you want to call it that. So I got an old headliner sitting over the windshield. Alright, so we're leaving Key Auto Parts in Lake Crystal, Minnesota, and we got us a brand new old stock windshield for my 1990 Dodge Grand Caravan. And I think I only paid 50 bucks for it. I was having a real good time getting that hold of a windshield for a decent price. And I was looking for used ones, and all of a sudden this one popped up on Carpart, brand new. So that's freaking sweet. They said they've had it on a shelf for a couple years. They don't even remember how they got a hold of it, but that's freaking amazing, guys. Anyway, we're gonna head home. I got a windshield here to put into storage, and then I gotta get ready to put that in. Sweet. Well, so here we are. Here's our brand new windshield. It is tinted, which is great. So it's I want to say this is like a new old stock aftermarket SGC Automotive. I think that's an insurance thing right there. This says 80 to 86 Dodge Caravan. It's 84 to 90. Close enough. Close enough. I don't know what that. I think this was a G right here based on that. So yeah, it was like that. So there's 3 space and then G. I couldn't find any numbers for that. DIS discounted. So that probably says discounted because the place said that they've had this on the shelf for 5 years at least, and they have no idea where they got it from. So I got lucky here finding this guy. Yeah, what's that say? This is just SGC down here too. But I can't find anything on that, really. Anyway, I got it into the 93 here, and I have the 93's tarp, and I kind of sandwiched it between the seats and the tarp to keep it from moving, kind of like you would with packing foam. Anyway, it looks good to me. I'll tell you that much. And it's got this piece on here. It keys from the factory for the center mirror. That's gonna save me some time because otherwise they always come off no matter what I do. So that's freaking sweet. So we might have some content on the 90 coming up because this was my roadblock right here. Alright, here we are. It's the old 1990 Dodge Grand Caravan. I think it's an LE, if I remember. I haven't touched this in a while. I think I started it around like the beginning of June, and I moved it once. But it's kind of had some stuff piled around it here. My tape has failed on the window here. My windshield is still holding. Something was on top of it, it appears. Or maybe that was wind or something from that. Let's see, the battery's still got a charge in it. I recall I unhooked it. I don't trust the thing to not burn down on me. Oh yes, right where we left off my hot wire is just kind of a vice grip. That's our first goal, is to rewrap this wire harness in here, finish splicing up a few things, get this put back together, and then it's to clean up the channel for the windshield. But let's see what we got here. What a mess I left this poor thing in. And this was just I think a reman battery they bought for it. want that to like melt on the exhaust or anything. That would be ideal. Here's sparks, so this is looser than I would like it to be, but let's see what we got here. Get out here, can. I have come back here and I was digging for things a few times as I left a lot of junk in here. Get my windshield out of the way. Door chimes, fuel pump. Well, there she goes, and she's alive. I couldn't tell you what's going on here because there's no cluster hooked up. But it's alive and it sounds good. Kind of sputtered to life, but hey, it's alive. Let's get my windshield out of here. Oh, I gotta shut this door, that's why I'm not going anywhere. Good job, me. Just a purring away, it wants to live. And we're gonna make sure that happens one way or another. $405. I had this running at the same time I had this one running too, which was a month and a half, 2 months ago. Alright. Alright, we get out of here before I melt my wires. You poor, poor, poor van. I got my work cut out for me here. Metal's still solid though, so we'll be able to make something work. I know my glass guy will get that sealed up right. Oh, the sad state of this thing. Alright, well I got a steering wheel, I got a seat. Let's see if she moves. Got a brake pedal still. Drops into reverse. And she's driving out of her grave. Gotta be slow here, I got stuff everywhere. Brakes are kind of, I'm sure, kind of welded together. I can hear them. Alright, she's seeing sunlight. Alright. Oh, power steering's a little low. My new pump leaks, or one of my line fittings or something is not quite proper, and it leaks the fluid out after a while. And I'm sure because it hasn't been run or driven since then, you know, nothing's, I guess I haven't had a chance to check that. I just know it does from sitting. Alright, look at that. Well, it sounds good. Just as I left it. Anyway. Do we still have forward here? Yes, we do. And you know what it might be is that rack or that pump is just sticky. It just needs to be run because it doesn't sound like it's low on fluid. Alright, up we go. Green bean and string bean in the old truck and a random push mower that I discovered in the back shed that I didn't know we owned. It'd been sitting, looks like it's been sitting for, I'd never seen it in my life. I put gas in it and it fired on the first pull. Alright, anyway, we're up at the front of the garage here. I'm gonna clean up in front of here, get it pulled into the shade. I'm gonna start working on that wiring in the under the hood there. Get that all done right. Alright. Anyway, it sounds alright, so there she is, seeing daylight for the first time in a couple months anyway. Alright, so here's what we're going with here. So I got this little junction box here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the hot right off of this big one, and then obviously all these little connectors will connect to terminals here. And this is going to get It's got a cover that goes on top, and then I'm going to seal it with this rubber insulated tape here. It's watertight if I do it right. Haha, that rhymes. I'm cool. Then over here I'm rewrapping my wire harness, and I've gone through one roll already to do from here all the way up to here to about halfway across the firewall. And we're using this 3M Temflex 1755 electrical tape. And it's like a, not plasticky, it's fabricy. And it's the same stuff they use from the factory. The same general tape. But that'll hold up way better than electrical tape. That's what it's supposed to be. And so what I've done is I've gone one loop over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back the opposite way like I've done here. And it wasn't ever sealed from the factory like this, and this stuff is pliable, it moves around. It's just to keep everything in a nice harness, if you will. So that's starting to look good, and then we'll put the this guy over top. This one's still pliable, the one that was over the top here, but all those smaller ones I've got new harness shielding that I'm going to wrap the rest of it in. And so even, you know, I maybe kind of went overkill going through here and ripping everything apart until I found that, but hey, all this stuff fell apart when I was taking it off, so it's good to have this all redone because it protects these wires and keeps these nice and pliable and not exposed to elements, because these are still all nice and pliable and prime for the mice to chew, and somehow they didn't come and do that. But having this new stuff, this will last quite a long time. Once again, the other stuff lasted, what, 30 years? So, how old is this thing? 2010, 20, 33 years. So this should last another 33 years, hopefully. So that's cool. It needed to be done either way for it to be long lasting, as long as this will last the life of the vehicle. How about that? So we're looking good here. I'm gonna probably, next time you see this, I'll have this all done. I'll probably have that done, and then we're buttoning everything back up under the engine bay here and be done in here. And then we will start chipping away at getting this all cleaned up here, get the rest of this glass out of here without cutting myself, and then start grinding down the channel and cleaning this up the best I can, so it hopefully doesn't return. I got a couple ideas here for what we're gonna do. Cool. Getting that motivation back to work on this. It's a big one right there. Finding that windshield was a fun one. I can't believe the effort that was. But hey, we're putting it back together now. Soaking the front license plate frame in some Evapo-rust here. Kind of testing this out, see how it goes. They say either you can soak the small item, or if you got larger items, you can soak paper towels and kind of wrap them in it. So that's what I did for this surface here while soaking this. And it says 1 to 12 hours depending. I can already see it's working on these washers down here. They've been in there for like a minute, so we're gonna keep an eye on this and we'll see how it comes out. Good test anyway. Did pretty okay. It got all the loose stuff off, I'll tell you that, because I'll just spray that with rust converter when it dries and then just paint over, and that'll be good enough. But a little bit longer, I think. If it would have sat overnight, it would have got all of this, because it got a lot of it. That's pretty good. Hardware looks real good. That turned out nice. Look at that. Yeah. Perfect. Alright, well there's my product. So that used to be all like one press fit crimp on, where all those wires were kind of pressed together. I've kind of made a power bus, since I can't really replicate what the factory had done. And so, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I've even got extra room for any additional stuff. Like this right here is for our light here, which apparently I need to do a better job at cleaning that cable up, but it's got a fuse in it down here, so inline fuse. So now I got a hood light. But that's got a cover that'll go over top of it, and I'm going to tape the living heck out of it. And we'll see how long that lasts. So, I don't think I did that bad of a job. I still got to tape it up, figure out where I'm gonna. It'll be tucked in here somewhere like it was originally. So cool. Yeah, that was the big problem that has now been addressed, I hope. I think that'll last. It's not perfect, but it's definitely not terrible in my opinion. So we're gonna clean up the rest of this wiring, and then battery in it, make sure it all works, and then we'll call her good. Get the air box back on here, and then under the engine bay here should be tidied up. Yeah, that's sealed. Good old Scotch 33. That'll do it. That will do it. Yeah, that's sealed. I used half this roll on that. So, and it's still movable, so it's gonna sit in here somewhere. I'll wrap it up with my cloth tape, and that's where she's gonna live. And hopefully that lasts at least a while. It should. I don't see why it wouldn't. I think I did an okay job. But I did test it. It does work. So it should be good to go. I'm gonna button up the rest of the interior now, like I've said the last 3 times in a row. Nice. So I sanded that down with a flat disc after picking it and getting all the compromised metal removed, and I got it sanded down, cleaned it up, and I just sprayed it with rust convert. Actually, I'm just realizing my grinding down here and knocked some stuff up there. That'll be fine. And what I've done here is I grinded this down with my flat disc. I'm gonna apply this Evapo-rust gel on a rag into this corner as a test, and we'll see how much rust that takes away. Alright, I'm pretty much done in the engine bay here. All the wiring's all done, cleaned up. Got our computer back in, got the whole air box in. Everything's hooked up, got the coolant reservoir back in, topped off. This line is permanently out of the way. Got our spare jack even sitting in here now. Just clear it out. The only thing I don't have is the washer reservoir because this is out and that's got the hose for it anyway. And then obviously the AC stuff for the HVAC box that is out. But everything is tested working, lights all work. We have cured the original problem, which was that connection down there for the hot. So we're looking good here. This is the status of that Exo-rust or whatever I put on here. Evapo-rust, I think. And we've got the start of some quality metal work up here. And that is a layered JB weld. We'll see if that cures. And then after that, I think it's going to get filled with your favorite putty. So the rust has been treated. Now it's being filled. As long as it don't leak water, that's what we're going for here, not pretty. Almost forgot to install the new AC red fan. Got that in there. I had to undo my zip tie here and redo it to get it slid in there, and got 2 bolts in up here, and it just slides into clips down there. So there, now we're done in here, I think. Alright, I got the last of the glass scraped off the bottom. I used this metal chisel and a hammer. Got under all the silicone, got it all scraped off, got it flush, flattened out. And then up here I got this all grinded down. And right now it's soaking in that Exo-rust or Evapo-rust. I'll never get that right. It's on its second coat right now. It's starting to clean up real good. Look at that. The rust is about gone. So that second coat's doing us wonders here. And then it's going to get a small layer of rust convert and then primered. And then it should be ready for the glass guy to come in here and work his magic. So we're looking sweet here. I just got a lot of glass to vacuum up in there later. Later, I said, not now. But right now, I got to get this covered. I got a big tarp that I'm going to put over this. Hopefully keep the water out. We'll see how well that goes. But I'll probably pull it up as far as I can as well. That'll help. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Get it as far as I can. Perfect. Bonus content, I've got the license plate for the front finally bolted up with that new bracket. Well, new. Hello, cat. New to me bracket that I just painted up, so that's freaking cool. I'm trying something here. Get a wide angle view here. Might be able to see a little more here actually, which is great. That's what we're going for. Sweet. I've got this door open, I gotta shut. Now that we got the plate on, I gotta go in and get this thing tarped up. But that's cool. Look at that. Alright, so this is what we're looking like after the rust treatment. This side looks really good. I've got it all taped off here. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to paint the whole A-pillar, and then I eyeballed this section above the windshield where we had rust. I went to the eyes section and then a little bit more. This side looking okay. It's got a little bit in there, which we're going to see if that takes care of it. But we're going to put a layer of this on, and then we're going to Bondo that, because this hole showed up after the rust treatment. Otherwise it looks pretty okay. Better than it was. That's what we're going for here. So I'm gonna paint it here real quick with the rust reformer, and then let this dry. Put a layer of Bondo in this corner to patch that hole up, and then we're gonna primer it, and then I think we're gonna put like a semi-gloss black. I think that's what we're gonna go with. All right, so I know I said I was gonna prime and paint over this rust converter I did, but I decided to do a little more research, and the consensus online is that you should not do that. You should not put paint and primer between your window. I did leave the rust converter because obviously rust, but what we're going with here instead is a 3M epoxy, and it is 08115 panel bonding adhesive. And I saw this on YouTube somewhere. It was on YouTube that the guy used this, and it seemed that he said it's worked for him at least over 3 years, which is good. But the rubber that they use to adhese the windshield will bond to this really well too. But it'll seal up the metal and obviously hopefully keep the rust from coming back. So we're going to coat the entire channel with this, while also smoothing out some of the really bad defects. So that's what I'm going to do. I just tested this chunk. It's got like 90-minute dry time. I'm going to go sand the Bondo down off the hole in that corner, blow that off, and then I'll finish and go around. And then we'll let that sit a couple days, whatever. I think it's 24-hour cure time, and at that point my glass guy can come in here and he can put the glass in. And we'll leave it at that. So that's what I'm going to do. Freaking sweet. Oh, and just for how I use this, so this is supposed to go to it's a cartridge. It goes into a gun, but what I ended up doing, because I'm cheap and the gun's expensive, is you get your two things here. You press these in. Make sure you're just pressing evenly. I just got it into a bowl here. Use the stirring stick. And then I got this Dollar Tree paintbrush set, and I'm just using this to apply it. So yeah, because this is not cheap either. And then if you buy the gun, it's really expensive. I'm sure if you use this a lot, the gun would be worth it, but to me it's not. So that's what we're going with. Alright, here's my finished product. That actually worked. As my tarp blows off the truck. That worked amazing. I actually kind of low-key trust that that's actually going to seal and stay sealed. So that stuff mixes pretty easy with a paintbrush. Just don't get it all over yourself. And I wore a mask while applying it because I wasn't quite sure what kind of reaction this stuff was going to have. I can't smell it, but they said wear a mask, so I did. So I got the entire surface sealed up. Went over the Bondo here and over the Bondo in that corner, and it looks good again. It was just a couple pinholes that's been taken care of. And I sealed the edge here going all the way around, so you weren't getting contaminants inside of there either. Especially in this corner, it looked a little rough because they had done some body work here when it got mangled in an accident. So that's all in there, and this will cure in a day or so, and then it'll be, you know, dry to the touch. It's just like the surface that was there, except the metal is protected and sealed in, which is our goal here. Now, what else I did is I kind of crudely took some seam sealer and I ran a seam all the way down this channel on this side. I gotta come in here and clean it up now that it's hardened with a little bit of like sandpaper and just kind of smooth it out. But we resealed up this channel. I don't think this side was leaking. It's this side that I was worried about up here, which up front here was obviously not good. But if you look, it's kind of getting cracky and stuff. So when I'm done repairing this, which is sanded, I'll do this after we get the windshield in, because I'll have to kind of roughly paint correct. The whole car needs to repaint, but for now, we'll paint correct that. And then once this corner is taken care of, I will seam seal the rest of this going all the way down as well. And then I can kind of trust that the roof won't leak anymore. Oh, and I also think I found, well, we had a rainstorm last night, so my windshield stayed sealed with my plastic, but I had water in right here, and I've had water in here a few times. I think I finally figured it out. There was a lip right here where this panel connects to this panel, where water would come in down here and go down and kind of go in here, which is fine. It should drain down here. It would go under this lip and get in right here, because all of this up here was all dry. It was all dry up in here if you look up, but right starting here it was wet, and then it would leak here. Water was getting in here, I believe, and that's still kind of soft. Let that finish curing. It's kind of cured, like I can touch it, but it's soft and it moves, which is probably a good thing. Kind of press it in here, make it look a little better. Not that anybody's looking back here anyway, but I think it was getting in right there. And that hopefully will correct that. We should be getting more rain this week. I'll probably let this in overnight, but once that dries, I'll bring it back out and we'll see if we get any more water here. I don't think we will. Look at my beautiful mess that is in here. But yeah, once this windshield's in, we're gonna get the headliner back in here, the new headliner. Make sure all that fits. I gotta re-wrap all this wiring up here. So you get the headliner in, I can do the panels in the rear. I can start working on the dash. But I gotta correct the floor first before I do the dash, which is probably what I'm gonna do this afternoon while we're waiting for all this other stuff to cure. Is I'll start cleaning this up and sanding it down and getting the rust treatment on that. That way, by the time the windshield's in, this will be done and kind of just do it all in one swoop. But the goal for this week, my days off, was the windshield channel, and mission complete. Windshield channel is ready for the new glass. Hey, you. Come here. Come here, you big fucking snake. Come here, fucker. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, look at that. There's two big fuckers. Hi, guys. Come here, you. Oh, got him. Oh, that one stinks. You smell bad. Go away. All right, look at that. Just test fitting my windshield here. That's pretty good. I've got one peg here. Somehow that other peg disappeared with the other windshield. That's fun. I gotta look around for that. I think it's sitting in a pile somewhere. But it seems to fit okay. Looks good seeing one on it though. I think it's gotta go like that just a little bit. But yeah, I got this line kind of holding here where the peg insert is. Holding it in place. Cool. Look at that. Well guys, there she sits. Get it up on the concrete portion of the shed. I got the entire shed cleaned out, got the 05 yanked out, which is now sitting right there. And now we got the old 90 parked back here. Looks real good with that front license plate on it. I love that. I've just got the glass sitting on there. I don't have it glued in. I'm leaving that to the glass guy, but I wanted it out of my basement. Wanted to make sure it fit, make sure it was going to sit okay on the channels, and it does. Also taped it up in case we got any moisture. Most of it would run off or go somewhere else, ideally, but it shouldn't. But yeah, I got the whole shed cleaned out, swept it. Got rid of a lot of junk today that had been accumulating in here, so you can walk all the way around it.